Get it up to speed. Hey, everybody. It is time. We're way overdue. We're like 2 weeks overdue, I guess, for some strips. But I was out adventuring in the woods. Actually, I was at a convention for a while, and the hotel had crappy Wi-Fi, and then we were out in the woods, and then I smashed my foot all to hell. You know, I'm making all these excuses. It sounds like I'm like a Kickstarter that just won't go anywhere. We all have that Kickstarter, you know. I have one that was due in November, and every month it's an update like, "Oh, I'm sorry, the Kickstarter's late. I ran out of milk for my cereal." Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all, but whatever. Here we are. All my stories are true, but I'm glad to be back here, posting again with you guys. For those of you following along, last week I was camping and I dropped a large heavy object on my foot, and luckily it's not broken. I finally bit the bullet and went and saw the doctor and got some X-rays, and no breakage, nothing out of place, just massive, massive tissue swelling. I've been walking around with one shoe with no laces in it. I think that's going to be a new trend, a new style. It'd be like Run DMC, right? They didn't have laces in their Adidas, but so anyway, I'm finally well enough that I can sit here. I took some uh, leave earlier, and I got my foot elevated a little bit here underneath the table, and I think we're ready to do it. I couldn't do it up until now. I would just be going crazy, even crazier, trying to sit still. So as you can see, we've got the Adobe Illustrator set up again for our um, drawing pleasure. And I've got a 3-panel strip today. This is a true story. I think a lot of the strips are going to be about my recent adventures. I think there's going to be a lot about camping, some of which are totally true stories, like with the one you're going to see today. And then some are going to be creative license. But, you know, it'll keep us going for a little while. Someone asked me that while I was vending at these events, you know, I was promoting Troll and Friends. It's always good to promote something and then just abandon it for 2 weeks so that when people get home from the con or from the festival, they're like, yeah, I gotta check out this Troll and Friends. You know, look at that guy. He's licking himself like a cat. I gotta see more of this. And then not post anything. That's a good way to really keep the hype up. That's the opposite of a good way to keep the hype up. So yeah, you got it, Ron. I was hobbling around. I was actually working on it a bunch. I had to still load that trailer after I dropped the tongue on my foot, and then drive 7 hours from the little penis tip of southern Illinois all the way back to the hinterlands of Wisconsin, and with no cruise control. Of course, it was my accelerator foot. And then we unloaded the trailer, and then I did a day's worth of laundry, or a week's worth of laundry, and I spent all day doing that. Um, and then yeah, I don't know why the foot hated me so much. um, but anyway, so I was promoting the Troll and Friends at the various things, and it was pretty well received. So hopefully we'll get some new followers, some new readers. That'd be cool. But yeah, so without further ado, I think on this, we're going to jump into drawings. So let me zoom in here. It looks like I've got us all set up, but you know, of course, there'll be a learning curve because I haven't done this in 2 weeks. I actually drew one while I was in the woods. I drew just one with a pen, but it was lacking. So that's what I'm going to redo here today. Is the one that I drew with pen. My Patreon backers, of course, you saw the post that I made, that little blue post-it. So we're just going to redo that one. So in preparation, we've got our blob brush, and I already checked the brush settings, which means that they won't be right as soon as I start to draw. Let's see here. Let's get a little red and blue on this brush, and layers. We want to be working on the blue line there, and have everything else locked out, because we know what'll happen. All right, so I'm gonna have Troll strolling along. It's been a while since I've drawn this guy here, so let's see how we do. And again, this is the blue line, so I can fix anything. In fact, I'm gonna undo that because I want him to be facing that direction. He's just gonna be walking along. So, just sweating bullets because that's what we do. We're more fat guys with hypertension. We like to sweat the bullets. Right. And he's let's get him cuffed there. This looks like he's just one flappy titty hanging out to the side, so maybe we'll fix that. My flappy titties hang to the front, not the side. And I think he'll be doing his mansplaining here, but he's also going to have like a sweat rag. So see if I can make that sound okay. Make that communicate. Pantalones. I think he should be in cargo shorts. We're just going to switch this up there. In fact, I think maybe I don't even want him in his flannel shirt. So you're watching the art happen right now, kids. All these decisions are being made. He's going to be in a nice tank top. And it's pretty much how I spent the whole week. Tank top with cargo shorts. You can see his little body ankles. All right. You can't laugh at yourself, you can laugh at it, right? Or rather, if you can't laugh at yourself, you have no right to make fun of anybody else. Is that maybe the close one? We'll fly there. Okay, and I think a little bit more of the breeze coming from you. Okay. And then in the second one, we've got J-Puff just hanging out here. Hey, thanks for joining in, Jonathan. Thanks for sticking with us. You know, a couple weeks late, getting started here, but I'm glad to be back in action. This is we're doing a true story here from a camping adventure last week. We were camped at the very southern end of Illinois, and it was on setup day at least. It was heat index of 104, so it was my fat butt out there sweating. J-Puff was helping, but I was doing most of the heavy lifting, as is a troll's want, as is a troll's lot in life. All right, so let's get J-Puff going again here, and then I'm gonna have her bow, and her bow is gonna be flying back. She's right in front of this fan. Beauty of this blue line layer is we can just kind of rough it in, and then you know we make it happen. So we actually had a solar-powered fan. That's the punchline of this whole thing. Is that yeah, it was so hot, and I came back to camp, and she had the fan just blasting on her on high. But it was actually a pretty decent breeze at that time of day. Usually, you know, it was we were kind of blocked by some campers that were behind us, but we were getting a nice breeze at that minute. And I was like, "Why do you have the fan on? You're wasting all the juice." But the fan was attached to like this 100-watt solar panel. It was just a 12-volt fan, so she was like, "I'm gonna use up the sun." Okay, whatever, Turkey. That's what she puts up. So, that's where we're gonna meet this guy here. So I'm gonna have a big smile on her face. Yeah, she puts up. Just trying to figure out what we need to have in the back to establish that this is camping, you know. Tent. I broke a pole on my tent while we were there, first night. Luckily it was not a load-bearing pole. Oh, what's happening? Don't I say every time that I'm gonna like deactivate this touch thing? Don't do it. Touch on it. Okay, let's see if that works. All right, we'll figure that out. All right, that one's a little weird, but we'll do it to it. And then in the background, okay, the final frame, we're gonna have this tent here in the back, just to kind of tie it in together. And breaking that pole was entirely my fault. I had the rain fly out too tight, like some lines from the flaps from the rain fly out too tight, and I thought, oh, we'll just stretch it. That's not how it works. So it was just the pole that works with the rain fly. I'm gonna try to super glue it for Lucy. With super glue and duct tape. Fixes everything. Alright, so there's the camp. We didn't have a tree, but this is artistic license. Move those guys over. See, I'm going to get rid of these guys right now. And then we will have this big solar panel. Quartering over here to the fan. Hateful sun was glaring at us. The hateful eye of Ra. That's what it was all week. They kept threatening like thunderstorms all week, and it never happened until, of course, the night before we came home. That was actually when I dropped the trailer on my foot. It was because of the rain. Bring the chair there. She was so proud of herself because she bought like a chair for plus size people. Jake Buff and I are, you know, a little bit on the heavy side, and she got a big kick on calling it chair for fatty. Then everybody would be like, "No, don't call it that! Oh my god!" You know, just because everybody's so sensitive about the body image and whatnot. She got a big kick out of it. She got purposely calling it chair for fatty, just to get a rise out of people. So here she is, in chair for fatty. I think this whole bit here. I feel a little rusty, guys, so thanks for bearing with me on this. The whole thing can come down. Because she's going to have a work balloon up there. Okay. Oh, that angry sound. Alright, so let's save that, because we love to save things. I'm going to take a sip of my Diet Pepsi. Ask for it by name. Alright, and then... let's see, I'm going to switch over to black. I'm going to jump layers from the blue line. We're going to lock that. We're going to come up here to the ink layer and unlock that. Actually, no. Before we do anything crazy like that, let's do the balloons. We always like to do that. So I go over here to I've gone to the balloon layer, unlock that. We've got the type tool, dragging that out into a paragraph box. I like to keep things on caps locks, right? And my font is Cavallar. And I try to do 18 points. And we'll see. Let's go. Just get the tablet out of the way there for a second. It's always fun, I'm sure, for you guys to watch me composing with this. Because, right. So, woo! The sun is relentless. I'm glad there's a little breeze. Sun is relentless. I like to hit the line wrong. I'm glad there's at least a little breeze. At the least. Okay, and then we, of course, want to get rid of the hyphenation. We want this to be centered, like that. And then, since we have that paragraph box, we can kind of drag it around and see how the paragraph forms up. It's never the limits. I'm glad there's at least a little breeze. Okay, because I can draw in the breeze around his torso. Top probably mostly dialogue box there. Got to proofread a little bit, and I appreciate you guys proofreading along with me. Never, ever be shy about speaking up if you see a typo. Okay. And this one, I'm going to say, why do you have the fan? And there's a nice breeze. Alright. And then the third one. Oh, wait, go back. You're going to use up the juice. Which is pretty much exactly how it went down. And then J Puff says, really? I'm going to use up anything. You think I'm going to use up? I just don't like the way that it's in a paragraph close, so we can clear out something. This one needs to be a capital. And can you switch the entire sun? Okay, there you go. That gets it across. I mean, it's not a gut buster, but I think it says what we need to say. So we're going to save that. I'm working on the PC today, so it saves nice and quickly. You know, when it's working, it works great. All right, so speaking of this PC working, I broke down the Steam Summer Sale. I broke down and bought Far Cry 5. So I played that for a little while last night, which I guess was a good test for having my foot stuck under this computer on top of a box and a pillow. But it was pretty fun, and I was glad that it worked on my PC. It's a couple years old, and you know how they are. You know how they get you. Always making them better, so you gotta buy more hardwares. Okay, so if I'm going to draw, I need our good friend the tablet over here. Right, and we are, I'm going to switch the brush. It was at 5 points. I think I like it better at 3 points where I just draw things smallish. Let's get to it. I need to be a little bit more careful, because we're not on the blue line anymore. And now that I say that, I want to just make sure that I'm on the ink layer. Yeah, okay. So. Still got him in his stupid little knit hat. Which really, I only wear knit hats in winter. I've got a friend that wears them all the time, but I don't know how he does it. Of course, he's about 125 pounds lighter than I am, too. So. It does that thing sometimes where it fills up the end of a fairly cube. Of course, we need his little outline there. Yep. And it's filled up. I actually had to take my laptop along with me to the camping festival because I have freelance clients that still, need to have their work done while I'm gone. Life of a freelancer, you don't really get a vacation usually. But the internet was atrocious. Like sometimes we would get, I had intended to just use my phone and tether it, which I managed to do enough to get my work done for my client. But it was horrendous. I had to keep switching it in and out of airplane mode to try to make it search for networks. Luckily, I had to do that in a couple of days. But it just wasn't worth, trying to make a strip and get it to upload and everything. Besides, if it were so sweaty, I would have been just sweating all over the tablet. I didn't even take the tablet. That looks okay. Nice breeze lines. It could be breeze lines or they could be stink lines, You never know. Could go either way. Oops. Bad line there, Jay. Yeah, and that previous week, man, I had a good time at North Texas RPG Convention in Dallas. There the week before my camping trip. I think I was actually worried that I was going to sell out of art It's like my vending booth did so well that I was like, well, crap, I got another event coming up for a whole week. I need to have stuff to sell to those people too. But I guess that's it's a good problem to have, right? Too many people want more work. So I made some prints, and actually when I made some prints like the day before I was going to go on the camping trip, and then while I was there, I actually made some art, some one-of-a-kind art that was like wall art with baby doll heads and such, and they're snapping right up. Luckily, I got some digital photos of them. It was just kind of a one-of-a-kind thing. Like I can't really make a print of something like that. It's more 3D art. But I got by. But I did really well there too. So that's an awesome problem to have. Just save that for the gray layer. And then this fan going. And some semblance of this panel. And some sense of it. So my next event, my next appearance isn't going to be until Gamehole Con in Madison, Wisconsin in November. So I've got some time to build up my stock again. I don't think I'm going to do the 1 o'clock stream this week, just because I've still got a bunch of crap to finish up from having been gone for effectively 2 weeks. But yeah, eventually we'll get back to it. To the daily stream that I do at 1 p.m. where I'm just making art for funsies. I've got a lot of freelance work that needs to be done also, and it's for Alex Kammer at Gamehole Publishing, and he's usually cool about me drawing his stuff on the stream, which I feel comfortable doing it for the sketches, but when it comes to actually doing the painting, I think my process for a serious painting that is going to be the cover of a book is a little too needy, a little too weird to translate to having to obviously having to narrate. I can't draw a straight line and talk at the same time. So that one those ones I probably won't work on as far as color in front of the screen. But I might do the sketches. I'm working on one right now with an adventuring party in the woods approaching like a dilapidated keep, and there's 2 owl bears up in the wings, so to speak, waiting to attack them. I think I'm going to do that tent and the tree in the shading color, just because they're in the back, they're not important, so I don't want to give them the same line weight as everything that's going on here in the front. I think we've got that going on for right now. Let's save it just because it's occurring to me to do that. And I can take a little sip. Almost knocked that sucker over. Okay, so then here we have this hateful. Hey everybody, tune in and watch me try to draw a semicircle. Alright. Come on, Jay. You can do it. It's as good as we're gonna get. Okay. Actually, I want to back to down. Yeah, yeah. Good. One eye just wandering off. He's thinking about something else. I got an email yesterday asking me to be a guest artist at Gamehole, or not Gamehole, GaryCon in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin next March. So that's good. They're getting their ducks in a row early over there. So I need to respond. I just got it last evening. So we'll do that again. It's always tough, working too much. I like to go and play and just, not even that so much, just hang out with my friends and drink some whiskey. um, but it's always nice to be invited, you know. Yeah, Jonathan, I think I would do that. Jonathan's asking if the comic strip had a chance to be adapted into an animated TV show or a web cartoon. Would you take that chance? I think so. Eventually down the line. You know, near future plans are once I have enough strips compiled, I'll put together a book and hit more of the comic conventions rather than the gaming conventions with it, or maybe both. Um, but yeah, I'd totally do that if people were digging the characters enough. Someone asked me, like I said, I was promoting the comic strip at these conventions and festivals that I was just at, and someone asked me, are you afraid you're ever going to run out of ideas? And I don't, that just doesn't happen. Because it's based on life, there's always something going on. Not always, the funniest thing. Like the punchline here isn't a real knee slap or anything, but there's always something to convey. And of course, if it became a big deal, then they would have writers and animators and things like that. But yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be all for it. But in the meantime, yeah, I definitely will bolster it more. That one had that weird thing where the loops fill in at the end. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta talk nice to it. Come on there, buddy. Don't be shy. Shit like that. And the other panel. We just have it on a table. But yeah, it was just a really nice 12 volt thing. It was perfect. J-Pop pretty much sat like right in front of it the entire time she was at the booth, just letting it blast on her. And then the trade-off was I got it at night, so it was on my side of the tent, blasting away in my face because it was both battery and solar powered. See if this. Once I get these blue lines out of here, we'll be able to see if this makes any sense or if it's just a mess. But I think people will understand it's a camping chair. It's not at all important to the punchline. But we do need like cable. That's kind of the whole point, right? Okay, and I think for the sun, I would kind of want to paint those rays in one of the gray colors. So let's save that real quick. Jonathan's asking if I'd like it to be faithful to the strip or add a few good twists. Yeah, if writers or whatever came up with some good twists, I'd be cool with it. I think as long as it didn't stray too far afield, like the troll's a Nazi. I don't really want that kind of PR, or anything like that. But yeah, I'm up for all kinds of crazy adventures. Usually give anything a shot. Alright, so we're switching over here to the shading layer, and we can finally hide that blue line, and we'll see how things translate. Well, I guess we can't hide the blue line until we're done with drawing the other stuff in there. Alright, so let's do that. Shall we? That's not what we wanted. We want great. I don't even know if that's going to matter in the background. We'll find out when I have that blue layer. Alright, and for this I think I need to make the brush larger. Oh. We're just going to kind of fill in this corona here. And then we can have that blue line there. See how it goes. I'm debating on this last panel whether to put the tint in black liner and gray liner. Alright. I guess we can keep it gray. I'm gonna switch to a lighter gray though for these guys with that. because it's just, they're just not playing well. Let's save that. And then I think we can finally hide that blue line there. That thing's looking too weird. This guy's gonna come down in the middle of his teeth there. A little spinach. Get a little spinach in his teeth. So, yeah, like I was saying, as anyone who follows my my Patreon board, you guys saw the pen and ink version of this comic that I did, but it was such a small space, and I couldn't really massage the text. You guys know I like to kind of play around with the text a little bit, so I just wasn't happy with it. So I figured for the first one, we would just kind of compensate here. You do it. But I've got a lot of ideas. I was at one point I was trapped in a porta potty because there's all just porta potties. Luckily, they had a nice kind of shower house thing going on, but the bathrooms were all just porta potties, and I was trapped in there with a dang horsefly. Like the big ones that are 2 inches long and take a chunk out of your skin when they get you. Then looking at them just makes my skin tingle. Like the pain. It hurts to look at them. And I was stuck in there. I was like, doing my business, my number two, and I was like, you son of a bitch. I tried to keep an eye on him while I was finishing up my necessaries. Luckily, he didn't attack, but that would have been terrible. We had them. They would, about evening time, they would come hang around inside the tents, up in the eaves, and then swoop down for a little meal if you weren't paying attention. And I had a fly swatter along, and it seemed like every time I had the fly swatter there, they would be nowhere to be seen. Like they almost knew. They're intelligent motherfuckers. So an upcoming strip will be about being trapped in a porta potty with a horsefly. I think I'm going to fill it out as like 3 perils of camping or hiking or whatever. And one's going to be getting lost, and we'll have a troll holding a map upside down or something, and then 2 would be amorous Sasquatch, and 3 would be being trapped in a porta potty with a horsefly. And the horsefly would be saying, "You in the wrong neighborhood now, motherfucker." Or it's something along those lines. Maybe not one, but definitely you in the wrong neighborhood now. Okay, so this knock on wood, but this seems to be performing okay. Every once in a while, it doesn't put down the line that I draw. Just likes to keep me on my toes, I guess. We're doing alright otherwise. Are we looking for time? I got nowhere to be. You guys are welcome to hang out here. We're about 45 minutes in. I'd like to keep these around an hour, but if we got a story to tell, we got a story to tell, right? I was thinking about there's what happened with the foot was that it was the night before we were going to leave, and so we were going to do a little packing up early, and my trailer was over in the parking area. I had the Jeep that I was borrowing parked behind my vending booth just in case it was heavy rains or something. We could throw stuff inside there. So I was just we were cleaning up, and then of course the heavy rain started the night before we were going to leave. So when there was a break in the rain, it had been downpouring for about 20 minutes. it was breaking the rain. I thought, okay, I'll run and get that trailer and get it hooked up and let's bring it over to the campsite so we can throw stuff in it, as weather permits. And J Puff stayed back to clean up some stuff around the campground. And then I got the Jeep back up to the trailer, and the hitch just wouldn't go on the ball. That's what she said. So I was, I like grabbed it and kind of pulled it to try to jostle it onto the ball, and the steel was wet from the rain and just slipped right out of my hands and wham, right on top of my foot. And I was wearing flip flops. I'm really fortunate because a few inches farther up the neck of the trailer tongue, there was a flange that would have been kind of like an axe blade coming down to the top of my foot. So I was lucky. Nothing's broken, and no skin was even broken or anything like that. But that would have been a whole different ballgame. That metal flange hit me. But what I did is I got the trailer hooked up for a second after I realized I could still move it. I don't think it was broken or anything. And came back to camp and then immediately put on a sock and a shoe because I figured this sucker's going to swell, and if I have to drive tomorrow, I'm going to be able to do it barefoot, or even just hop around camp and clean up the rest of the stuff. So I was smart enough to put a sock and a shoe on it, and I slept with my shoe on that night for fear of taking it off. And then when I finally got home on Sunday after 7 hours on the road and cleaning up the rest of the stuff at camp and everything, it was really ugly. It kind of looked like, it didn't even look like a foot. It looked like a stump with toes sticking out of it, black toes. It's kind of yellowish, purple, green. Ugly. I don't know what the point of that was. The point of that story. Luckily, nothing is broken. The downside of that is that I had to pay for X-rays on my freelancer salary to ascertain that nothing is broken. But what can you do? That's why I would pay for insurance. I think I'll make his shorts. And, it was the last day of the event, so that's okay. Better than the first day. Rather than hobbling around. The first day we broke a fall. Last day we almost broke a foot. So, one strip idea that I was thinking of, I guess that's where I was going with this, was, Troll drops something on his foot. I don't know if I'll make it the trailer or not, or if it's just easier to say he drops a cooler or something that's heavy on his foot. And, lets out a scream and his foot swells up huge. And then that's when Bigfoot falls in love with him, because he thinks it's like a mating call. And then, maybe we have a recurring character named Squatchmo. Listen. Alright, the good news is we don't have to draw his plaid shirt today, because he's got that tank top on. You know how much I love drawing his plaid shirt. It's nice to be back in the saddle again. Starting off here, I felt a little bit rusty, so I thank you guys for sticking with me. And of course, you guys watching are Patreon backers, and I always appreciate that. A bit of help. Helps me justify buying art supplies, basically. Which is always wonderful. stay out of Michael's, man. That place is dangerous for me. Especially when they have a decent coupon going. Okay. The story tells it's bad. Let's save it. While we're at it. Always save it. Remember that time it crashed on us? We lost about 2 minutes worth of work instead of 20. The sun is relentless, like the hateful eye of Ra. Be glad there's at least a little breeze. Why do you have the fan on? There's already a nice breeze coming up. Who's going to use up all the juice? Really? You think I'm going to use up the entire sun? Yeah, I think I will. I guess in the third panel we could have Troll in the back there, but he's implied. Troll is omnipresent. It's probably how J-pop feels. Like, yeah, can I ever get a moment to myself? All right, so we got that saved, and let's go now to our good friend the balloon layer. We're gonna make the brush smaller because it was at 8. We're gonna jump back down to 3, I think. 3-point size with the variable depending on pressure for the styles. Let's get back to our layers here. Right. Zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, I think that's okay. Spacing. I'm just gonna draw him a little. We're gonna use black for that. Eventually, here we're gonna draw him a little balloon. Now that is the wrong black. I talk all the time about rich black and flat black, and that is flat black. So we want it to be the rich black. You guys probably can't see that on your screen, but I can see it. It bothers me. Alright. So then we gonna go back to our brush tool. We just have that coming in off the side, being critical. And then we'll raise that paragraph up so that it's inside the balloon, more centered. This black doesn't feel right here. So let me select these balloons that I just made. Oops, what is going on? So it won't resolution mode. Oops, I have to redraw that. I accidentally put it in isolation mode. Didn't know how I got into it and didn't know how to get out. So I think I double clicked on the wrong line. So we want that. See, basically the difference is rich black is made of all the colors, and flat black is just 100% black, and so it doesn't have just as rich of a tune to it. Okay, I think we've got that figured out, and now we'll start to draw this last balloon. Okay. So then while we're on the balloon layer, we'll just type around. Move it, type around. Got these center word blocks. First one's probably pretty good. So it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to scoot them over a little bit. Alright, And then on the ink layer, we can draw in the white. So we're going to want to bump that brush back up. Come on. Kicking that back up to 8. Just to get rid of that. Oops. I guess we was on the wrong layer, Pa. Alright, let's lock that balloon layer, and we're going to do this on the ink layer, which is the next layer down. See, it's inevitable. I usually do something wrong there, just to show you guys that I'm valuable. Right. Just to keep it real. Keep the art real. There we go. Yeah. Okay, I think the troll needs shadow under him. Uh-oh, what's this? He screwed something up over here. Alright, so we need to jump up to the balloon layer. See how this text turns white? I have to change that to black, and we'll see if it's flat black or... No, it's not. So let's do that. Eyedropper, that's the easiest way to do that. And then it looks like we put a white border on it. Zoom in and see if it sticks. Alright, so let's go down here. There we go. That's done. Okay. And then let's hop back over here to the ink layer and get rid of that stuff behind that balloon while we have the thing going. Version white still. Got nothing. Let's see if that brush got small again. So let's check the old brush size. It says 8, just seems small, maybe just because that's such a huge bunch of gray back behind there. And I'm going to have to make this brush smaller again, I think, to get down in that, in the little tail end of this word balloon. But it's no problem. So yeah, I'm glad that this is kicking off again, and we'll definitely be back on track for these streams, for the Troll and Friends, and the art streams will follow. Probably not until next week, just while I tie up some loose ends. Okay. So what I want to do is come to this layer, cover up the ink, go to shading, unlock that one, swatches, and try to get that light gray that we had going. And I just want to put down a shadow underneath it, because he references the sun being so relentless. Try to keep the white tips of these shoes there. So the final act here, we're going to save that. It's an hour now, so I understand if you guys can't stick around, but it should just be a few more minutes while we throw in the halftone. So I appreciate those of you who can. I appreciate you all, but you know, what I'm saying is feel free to stick around. So we're going to go there, down to here, over here, up like here, and I'm just going to connect these guys and pull this into the curve. That's not what we wanted. Okay, so we need to handle on this guy. I'm not sure how much of that you guys can see on your screens, but I'm forming this Bezier curve here so that we have some place for the halftone. So now we gotta pick a halftone. Is that always the fun part, right? Something with tiny dots. Tiny bubbles. So anything's too heavy is going to look like precipitation or shadow or something like that. So I think maybe that one might be too light. Okay, I think we're going to stick with this guy. And then I have to go in, of course, and outline all the white parts of his body. This one I think has enough going on that we don't really need. The second panel has enough going on that it doesn't really need any halftones going. Same with the third. I think this is first panel. And so we have a choice. We can either use the brush tool to paint in white, or I can use that shape tool, the Bezier curve tool. But I think we're just going to paint that. So let's go over here. Swatches. We'll deselect that first before we change the fill color. Okay, changing the fill color to white. And the blob brush. And we're just gonna paint in. And the hassle with this is that I always miss a spot, so it's gonna look like he's got food in his teeth or insect bites all over him or something, which should be true. Where we camp, man, there's a lot of ticks, and usually. But this time I only saw two, and one was brought in by someone else visiting the camp, who was camped out in the trees. Where we were was just this unforgivable savanna of direct sunlight. So it was good, and it was hot, but it was kind of kept the ticks off of us, I guess. And you know, readers of the strip will know that J-Puff is arachnophobe. So we sprayed down the camp and the tent and everything and the grass with peppermint oil. We just mix peppermint essential oil and water, and that keeps spiders away. It's a chemical warfare against spider mayor. I'm sure he'd have something to say about it. He might make an appearance here in the next couple strips. I think a lot of the upcoming strips are going to be based on camping trips, since there was, the camping trip on the festival, there was 2 solid weeks of activity. I'm just trying to think if that last panel needs it on the ground. Let's take a look. One way to find out, right, guys? There you go. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to use the eyedropper tool and just pick up that one we had from the other one. I'm sorry if you're getting a lot of background noise. My landlord is mowing the lawn right now. Seems to happen a lot. That's good. It keeps it in good shape. Alright, so let's go back to the brush. I think we're going to keep this halftone that I just put in. I'm going to just have to knock out the stuff that needs to be white. Take that down to like 6 points. And we're just going to paint in. what I'm doing is I'm just painting white right onto that layer, so that if we hid like the shading layer and the ink layer, you can see that that white is actually knocking out the halftone. So we put that nice halftone in, and now we're painting over it with white. But since the layer is below the ink and the shading layer, those lines show up over the halftone. So the world's best camp chair, but it's not important. That's what I just keep telling myself. Okay, I think on the shading layer, I want to go in with darker gray. Right now, the sun's rays are bothering me, so I'm going with a darker gray and kind of highlighting those. That is not what I wanted. That was it. All right, so let's switch that around. Give this a shot now. We need something, but I don't want to outline it in black. Oops. So we just do. I try to keep it, just to those couple shades of gray, far less than 50 shades of gray. Who wants to see a comic strip about that? Well, I shouldn't say nobody. Everybody's got a thing, right? And since his shading layer is behind the ink layer, yeah, I guess that's better. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. I'm toying with whether I like the shading on the sun's face or not. Like, originally I thought it made him look nice and angry, and kind of like, radiant rays coming off of it, radiant, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, yeah, it's fine. That's the quality we look for here at trollandfriends.com. Anyway, so I'm saving that, and I think we got a strip in the bag here, kids. Back on the saddle, back in the saddle. So, woo, that sun is relentless like the hateful eye of Ra. There's at least a little breeze. Ready as a fan on high when there's already a nice breeze coming in. You're going to use up all the juice. Really? You think I'm going to use up the entire sun? There you go. Hey-o, it's about solar energy. Okay, so I'm saving that, and I will make a PNG of it and post it to the Patreon for a preview for our friends who couldn't join us for the live stream. And then tomorrow it will be posted to trollandfriends.com and to webcomics.com and to Facebook and Twitter, all those good places. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, as always, for your support. I love it when you guys are active in the chat. Rom says remove the face shading. All right, I'm there with you, buddy. That's all I needed. I needed one little nudge to get rid of that shit. So we're going to go to the shading layer. All right, those guys. The bad thing about the blob brush is that it, well, a good thing and a bad thing is that now the shading that's next to the corona has become the same shape as the corona. So what I need to do is get my blob brush, change the paint color to white, Ooh, no, hold on. Deselect that. God, the wheels are falling off. Alright, and then just paint over these guys that. Thanks for chiming in, Ron. I think, oops, I think it was drawing too much attention, you know, to the face. So obviously not hard to convince me. Not the same. I accidentally erased this guy here, so there we go. Go back again. All right. Yeah, that's better. All right. Yeah, I think it stylistically it matches a little bit better too. So anyway, and yeah, if you guys have feedback, feel free to hop in that chat. I love talking to you guys. I love hearing, you know, your banter. I love answering questions, even though it makes, you know, both cylinders of my brain fire at once. We get it done. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna put a fork in this guy, and we'll see you again Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. And it'll be another camping adventure. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Thanks, guys. Everybody have a good day. That's an order.